Hello, welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn about Iterator. As I mentioned in the previous video, Iterator helps you traverse through a list easily instead of doing a for loop and going through the list. So in this video, we'll try to create an example for Iterator and see how it works. Let's go ahead and create a new class in our section 7 package, and we'll call it Iterator test. And we'll go ahead and create our main method. So here we're going to create a new list, array list, control space, so that we can import Java util array list automatically. And then it's an array list of string called names, new, control space again, so it auto populates, semicolon to end the statement. Now let's go ahead and add some names to the list. So names dot add John, names dot add Matt, names dot add Kate, and then let's add one more, names dot add Peter. So we have now 4 names. One way to go through the list is to do a for loop where you can get each item and then display. But now we're going to try to use an iterator. So just like how we added array list, let's type iterator and then hit control space, which will do the import automatically. We want the java.util.iterator. So both iterator and array list are inside the java.util package. So it's an iterator of string equals. Now instead of doing a new, let's name it names iterator equals. Instead of doing a new, we can do names, so which is a list. So if you do names dot, the first option that's shown is iterator. So let's just hit enter, put a semicolon to end the statement, and then kind of like I'll try to explain what it does. So every list has an iterator method. What it does is it creates an iterator object of all the elements in the list and then returns that. So we're just assigning that to a new reference names iterator, which is of type iterator that can contain string. So what this does is creates you an iterator object that helps you easily go through the list instead of doing a for loop. Now to do the traversing, let's do while. Now the objective is to go through the list until there are no further items, right? So let's open and close this block, and then we have to put a condition here. There's an easy way to do it. So just do names iterator dot. If you go through these methods, there is a has next. So go ahead and hit enter. So what has next does is it returns true until there is one more item. Until there is a next. So if there is another item in the iterator, it is always going to return true. So that's what we want to do, right? Until this is true, until there is one more item to read, we want to go through the iterator. And when you reach the end of the list, that is the iterator, has next will return false, and at that point you would know you have to stop reading it. So this is much better than doing a for loop, doing a get and then check until you get a null because you are moving past the list. This is much easier. Has next, has it covered for you. You just have to do has next in here, and it will return true until there is one more item for you to read. As long as there's one more item for you to read. So now we want to get the next item in the list, right? So for that, let's do string name equals names iterator dot next. So Eclipse automatically gives the best option for you as the first option, right? So next. That's the difference between has next and next. Has next just checks if there's one more item for you to read. Next actually fetches the item. So if you think about it as a list of 4, iterator has the four elements, when you first execute next, John object will be referred. And then when you do next again, Matt will be referred. Then Kate, then Peter. After that, you don't want to read anymore because there are only 4 items. But you won't even get here because has next will tell you there is no more items here and you will break off of this while. So that's the whole point of iterator. Now we can just go ahead and display system.out.println name. That's it. No for loop, no if conditions, nothing. Iterator basically makes sure you are only reading until there are items to read. Let's go ahead and run it to see the output. Run as Java application. So now we got John, Matt, Kate, and Peter in the exact order. So as next keeps checking if there is one more item, it keeps returning true. So your while was executing over and over until all the names were displayed, and we use the next to fetch it, right? Fetch the actual object and display it. So once we hit Peter and we displayed Peter here, in the next time around, has next returned false. So while never executed, and then we broke out of while, and then the program ended. So as you can see, it's much easier to get through a list through using an iterator instead of having to loop through the list manually. An iterator is one of the very commonly used classes to go through list. You would want to make sure you really understand this better because there is no other better way to go through all the items in the list, than using an iterator. So hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.